Hello, everyone. So the Pearson Test of English. So what are the tips and tricks to get a higher score in this exam? So first, let's understand what this test is all about. What's the format of the PTE exam? It's a computer-based test taken at the test center. It's completely online exam. So that means all your 4 modules, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, are tested online. And you get a notepad with an eraser for rough work. The duration of the exam is 2 hours. And these 4 modules, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, are tested in 3 parts. So there are 3 parts. 2 of the modules are tested together. That's writing and speaking. And there are 20 question types in all. So in part 1, you get 7 types of questions. In part 2, you get 5 types of questions. Part 3, you get 8 types of questions. So what are the tips and tricks that can help you to answer these different types of questions better? Let's understand when the test begins. The first thing is your personal introduction. So you're asked to introduce yourself, and the time duration for that is only 30 seconds. You must rehearse this well in advance because it's like your signature, your personal signature, which is shared with the universities or the institutions you are planning to apply. Giving a good introduction will boost your confidence for the overall test. So understand what is to be included in this personal introduction and practice it beforehand so that there's good modulation, there's good fluency, and there's good expression in your voice. So what should you include in it? Include your name, your age, your city, your hometown, like where you're from, whatever your education qualification is, your hobbies, your interests, and any other additional information you feel is related to your life and is important. You would like to include it in your personal introduction. But remember, it should be covered within 30 seconds. So a good practice beforehand, lots of rehearsals will help you to do this well. And remember, it's like your personal signature. Then we start with part 1. So part 1 tests 2 modules, speaking and writing. It lasts for 54 to 67 minutes and contains 7 different question types. Now, what we have to remember throughout in the PT exam is for some questions, you will get the time that for how long that is there. You'll know that it is for 3 seconds, 30 seconds, 90 seconds. And for the others, you just have to move quickly from one question to another. So manage your time well. Now, the first type of question that you can expect in this part is read aloud. You can get 6 to 7 questions of this type. And you get 40 seconds to prepare. That's it. So whatever text you get, like a text of about 50 to 65 words, you must read it naturally and as clearly as possible. That means each word should be articulated well. And you are expected to complete your reading in 23 to 28 seconds. So ensure that you read fluently with correct pronunciation and have appropriate pauses on punctuations such as like comma, full stop, semicolon, wherever you get such marks. Pause properly, but read aloud. The first type of question that you can expect is read aloud, and you get 6 to 7 questions of this type. Now, how much time do you get to prepare? Only 40 seconds, and it's a text of 50 to 65 words. So read the text as naturally and as clearly as possible. Articulate each word clearly. Your modulation, fluency will matter. So you're expected to complete your reading in 23 to 28 seconds. So take care of your pronunciation and fluency and give appropriate pauses wherever you come across any punctuation marks like comma, full stop, semicolon, etc. And also divide your text into proper tone units, chunks, so that you can speak more fluently. Modulate your voice by stressing on the main keywords of the sentence. So it should not be flat. It should not be a monotone tone. You need to modulate your voice. Be confident and calm. It's the most scoring part of the test. Please remember this. So if you practice reading aloud beforehand with proper pronunciation, fluency, and modulation, you can definitely perform well in this part. The second type of question that you can expect is repeat sentence. There are 10 to 12 questions of this kind. And remember, you get to hear the sentence only once. And there's no preparation time, hardly 3 seconds. And you get 15 seconds to answer. So you cannot afford to speak slowly. So try to understand the sentence so that you can remember it easily. Even if you don't remember all the words clearly, focus on your fluency. So you can break the text into chunks or phrases in order to memorize it. But remember, if you are not able to memorize the whole thing, focus on fluency, focus on modulation. Try to notice where the speaker has laid stress and lay stress on the same keywords in your answer as well. But don't copy the accent. Just observe the voice modulation of the speaker. So what is it that's going to help you in both read aloud and repeat sentence? Your fluency, your modulation. And these areas can be practiced beforehand because good practice will definitely help you to perform better. The next is describe image. And you can expect 3 to 4 questions of this type. So in describe image, you get 25 seconds to prepare. That means you see an image and you get just 25 seconds to prepare. And you get 30 to 40 seconds to speak. So how should you describe an image? Well, start with an introduction of the image. Remember, a bigger picture and then a smaller picture. So describe what this image is portraying and then give an overview if possible. And then talk about the main key points in the image, like any numbers, statistics, high or low points, etc. Because this image is of a graph. Remember, the images of a graph, it can be a chart, any kind of chart, table. At the end, you should give a conclusion to sum up your speech. Maintain a steady pace instead of speaking too fast. Know where you should pause for more than 3 seconds. Because remember, it's all about the software, understanding how you're speaking. So if you pause anywhere for more than 3 seconds, the software system might assume that you have finished with your answer. So use a filler in between, and moreover, in addition, well, to add additionally, add such words instead of just staying blank over there. The next type of question that you can expect is retell lecture. And you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. So, well, in this, you hear a lecture of 60 to 90 seconds. And then you have to speak for 35 to 40 seconds without any pause or break. So obviously, it means that you are not expected to repeat everything word by word. So get the main crux of it. Make sure that you answer in grammatically correct sentences. And take notes while you hear the audio. But try to just remember the main points, because how much can you write down in 1 to 1.5 minutes? But still, what type of notes you can take? You can just write down some words. You can write key points, important keywords, facts or figures mentioned, or name of any specific person if mentioned. These are the things you can write down. And just don't worry if you miss out on any particular information, as you should focus on the flow. So it's the fluency that's going to matter. It's the main crux of the whole thing that's going to matter. Don't deviate from the topic of what you hear. So remain on the topic and talk about relevant information you heard in the audio. Don't add irrelevant points over there. The next type of question that you can expect is answer short questions. And here you can expect 5 to 6 questions of this kind. So what is it that you get in answer short questions? And remember, there's no preparation time over here. You just get a prompt of 3 to 9 seconds, and then you get 10 seconds to answer. Like Where do you go if you have fever? And obviously to a doctor, to a hospital, whatever. So there are general easy answer questions, remember. Because obviously you will not say go to a shopping mall for its answer. Do not speak for too long, as you have to give a short and accurate answer. So mostly it's one word only. There is no additional marking for speaking more than required. Who treats you if you get a toothache? So a dentist, just one word answer. So start your answer as soon as you see that the microphone recording has started. If you pause for more than 3 seconds, the recording will automatically stop. So remember, this is extremely important in the PTE exam. You should not pause for more than 3 seconds anywhere. So it's all about your fluency. The next question type that you can expect is summarize the written text. And you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Well, you get 10 minutes to summarize a passage. Now, summary means the main points. So that's what you need to understand, what the main points are. Write your answer in one single complex sentence and make sure your sentence is grammatically correct. Now, what's a complex sentence? If you look at the first sentence over here, you get 10 minutes to summarize a passage. It's a simple sentence. Write your answer in one single complex sentence and make sure your sentence is grammatically correct. It's a compound sentence. But let's look at the fourth point. Use the full stop only at the end of your answer. This is one sentence. Let's look at the next one. If you use it within your answer, then it will break the sentence into 2 parts. Now, this is a complex sentence. So a complex sentence is that in which you use words like you use the subordinating conjunctions such as because, although, even though, if. So this kind of conjunctions are used. Unless, until. These kind of conjunctions are used to join different clauses. So use commas, conjunctions, or connectors to make a complex sentence. And you can write your sentence within 5 to 75 words. So practice writing complex sentences to prepare for this kind of question. And use diverse vocabulary in your answer. So focus on your vocabulary, focus on your grammar, and learn to use the conjunction and punctuation correctly. Because when you use a complex sentence, your punctuation should be correct. For example, although it is difficult, you can do well in this type of question. So although it is difficult, we should have a comma after difficult. You can do well in this kind of question, then there should be a full stop at the end. So take care of your punctuation. The next type of question is essay writing, and you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Remember, you get 20 minutes for this, only 20 minutes, and you have to write 200 to 300 words. So your typing speed should be good. So generate the content or pointers in the initial 2 to 3 minutes only. Don't take much time. And organize your text using a good structure. Structure of an essay is what? You have an introductory paragraph, and then you have the paragraphs with details. Those are the body paragraphs. They can be 2 to 3 in between. And then you have a concluding paragraph. So present your ideas in appropriate format containing 4 to 5 paragraphs. And use linkers and connectors to connect the fragments of sentences so that there's good coherence and cohesion. Use appropriate vocabulary. It's an essay, so you should have formal vocabulary in it. So make sure that there are no grammatical errors. Practice a lot. So you must practice writing essays, get them corrected. The next is part 2. In part 2, it's all about reading, and it lasts for 29 to 30 minutes. Now here, you may not get time for each question, but remember how many question types you need to answer in this. because there are 5 different question types. And if you spend all your time in answering the first 2 types only, or the first 3 types only, you will not be able to answer the other 2 types, or the 3 types that remain. So ensure that you move from one question type to another fast. Remember, there are 5 question types. This is what you need to remember. So you get the question number along with the timer on the top right-hand corner. So work on your speed so that you're able to answer all the questions. And this tests the ability to read academic English. So be in the habit of reading a lot of academic journals so that you're familiar with that kind of vocabulary. The first question type in this part is reading and writing blanks. You get a drop down with the options, and you can expect 5 to 6 questions of this kind. So what should you do? Skim through the text to understand the context and the meaning of the sentence. Choose the option which is grammatically correct for the sentence. That is, whether a noun is needed, a verb is needed, a singular, plural, what is it that is needed? Read the sentence again after choosing the answer to check if it makes sense and move on to the next one. So be quick in answering these questions. The next in reading is multiple choice questions with multiple answers. And you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Now, don't take more than 90 seconds for each question. You get a text of 100 to 300 words. And remember, there is negative marking in this section for each wrong answer. So just be quick. If you can understand, you answer, you just click on that and move on. So choose the options wisely. There is negative marking in this section. Only tick mark an option if you are sure of it based on the text. But what do you have to remember? Do not take more time. Do not take more time. Just click on the answer and move on. Reorder paragraphs. Now you get 2 to 3 questions of this kind, and you should not spend more than 2 minutes per question. So be quick and always start with the first sentence. So it's very easy to identify the first sentence because the information is always about somebody or something. And the first sentence is always an independent sentence. It does not require something to complete the sense. And the sentences which have connectors such as moreover, furthermore, hence, therefore, won't be the first sentence. They can be the second, third, fourth, or fifth. So you should note any clues that can help you to understand the order of the sentences, like firstly, secondly, lastly, hence, therefore, first of all, and anything to do with timeline, like earlier, now, 1950, or name of any particular person. For example, if a sentence starts with he, and then you have a sentence with Peter, so obviously the sentence with the name Peter will come first, and the sentence with pronoun he will come later on. Once you have reordered the sentences, read them again to check if they are falling in the right place and the paragraph is meaningful. But remember, you should not spend more than 2 minutes per question. Move on to the next. Now, the next question type that you can expect here is reading blanks. Now, here you need to drag and drop, and you can have 4 to 5 questions of this kind. So again, don't spend more than 2 minutes on one question. Skim through the text to understand the context and meaning of the sentence. Understand the words which can lead to meaningful collocations. Collocations are the combinations of words. For example, a mistake is made. Mistake is not done, it is made. A new product is launched in the market. A movie is released. So understand the collocation of the words. Then read the sentence again after choosing the answer to check if it makes sense. But do not spend more than 2 minutes on one question. The next is multiple choice questions, single answer. You can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Now, don't take more than 1 minute for each question. Only one response is correct, and you have to choose one option only. So there's no negative marking in this section. Attempt all the questions. Paraphrase and understand the question well in order to relate it to the text. But be quick. Just answer it fast and move on to the next one. Part 3 in the PTE exam tests your listening skills. This part lasts for 30 to 43 minutes and it contains 8 different types of questions. So you must pay attention to what you hear in the audio and video clips. The first type of question here is summarize the spoken text. And you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. And you get 10 minutes to finish one question. Make notes while you hear the 2-minute lecture. You can write down the key points, words that are stressed by the speaker. There may be any figure or the year mentioned in the audio. Like whatever the overall idea of the audio is, just note it down. Use short forms. You can just write 1 or 2 words, write the names. After the audio stops, use the next 30 seconds to write any additional notes that you remember from the audio. Whatever it may be. Maybe something that you did not write down while listening to the audio, but you remember it later on. Avoid using the same word repeatedly. Use synonyms or paraphrase the keywords. And take care of grammar, punctuation, and spellings. So how much should you write in this? Write 50 to 70 words. The next question type is multiple choice, multiple answers. And you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Now, please remember that there is negative marking for every wrong answer. So choose wisely. You get 7 seconds before the audio starts. So read the question in this interval and make notes if you get time when you hear the audio of that 40 to 90 seconds. Eliminate the wrong options side by side as you listen. The best way to do in multiple choice question is you eliminate the wrong options. So whichever option gives you any irrelevant information or something that has not been covered in the audio, just eliminate it. Move fast from one to another. The next is fill in the blanks. And here you can expect 2 to 3 questions of this kind. And the audio countdown begins from 7 seconds. So that means you get those 7 seconds to read the text with blanks. Take care of singular and plural forms of the word. And of course, move along with the audio and type the word as you listen to the audio. The next is highlight the correct summary. So summary always includes the gist of the whole thing. So you should be able to understand the main idea of what you hear. You can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. The audio starts after 10 seconds of countdown. So you can scan the given summaries during that time. Now you listen to an audio of 30 to 90 seconds. So look for the main idea and the theme of the audio. Distinguish each option and see what different points are there. Look for any incorrect information so that you can eliminate the wrong option. So when you are going through the summary options given to you, just see which summary includes something that has not been covered in the audio. And select the best paragraph, that is the paragraph that best represents the idea. So it should have the main idea of what you hear. The next is the multiple choice single answer, and you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Here the prompt length is 32 seconds. The next type is multiple choice single answer, and you can expect 1 to 2 questions of this kind. Now, remember, there is no negative marking for a wrong answer in this, and the prompt length is 30 to 60 seconds. So answer as you move along with the audio. Select the missing word. Now, this type also you can expect 1 to 2 questions. So the missing word is at the end where you need to replace the beep because you just hear a beep sound instead of the last word or the last phrase. And you get 7 seconds to answer. So pay attention to the whole recording and understand the main idea to guess the word through context. So notice any related keywords present in the audio. Now, how are you going to select these words or phrases? You get an option. You need to choose the correct answer from the 4 options given to you. Next is the highlight the incorrect word. And you can expect 2 to 3 questions of this kind. So have a quick overview of the text in the initial 10 seconds provided before the audio starts. This means we cannot afford to waste even 1 second in the PTE exam. Need to be very careful. Move the cursor along with the audio to stay focused and relate the text to the audio. Whatever you read, just relate it to what you hear. Identify the error, any word which you do not hear, any word that is different from the audio. Just double click the word and move on. So remember, you need to double click the word that is incorrect. And the last type in this is write from dictation. You can expect 3 to 4 questions of this kind. You will hear the sentence only once. So type the sentence quickly, even if there are typing errors. You can correct them later if time permits. You get only 7 seconds to type. So try to remember the sentence if you can. Like just repeat the sentence in your mind again and again until you type it completely on the screen or as much as you can. But remember to submit your answer. This is extremely important. All the best.